So this is a look at the rainfall outlook for the next week ahead. And this image shown here, this is the week 4 map, or it's the 17th to the 24th of October. This is released the 21st of May 2025. So this shows this frontal system moving across the southwest corner of Western Australia. I've indicated that it should only be highly coastal rain at best, and there'll be just some scattered storms moving through southern parts of Victoria and possibly the east coast. What's key here is as fire weather risk returns as renewed frontal system activity builds in the southwest. Dry anomalies and increased heat via the northern interior and northwest are funneled into the south ahead of a frontal system. Limited rainfall is to be expected during this window, with scattered spring storms likely for eastern coastal regions, as well as the North Kimberley, western coast of the Northern Territory. So this is the patch up here. Generally hot, dry, windy northwest winds associated with the frontal system. So the key for this period, obviously, I've got one of the lower deciles just showing that it's likely to be less rain than more rain, and this predominantly hot northwest flow that's going to get dragged through to the eastern states. So this is exactly what's happening right now, and this is why we're seeing those heat wave warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology that did extend from the Western Australian interior. Now they're pushing through the Northern Territory, Queensland, parts of South Australia, New South Wales, and to some extent may reach down into Victoria, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. So anyway, this next week isn't meant to be overly exciting. So with that, we must look at these models for what they are. And what we're seeing is, once we go to the start of this, we have this frontal system that's moving on the coast now. So this is that frontal system that I've forecast. The heat moving in through the northern interior and scattered storms moving into southern Victoria. So this is the ECMWF. I believe it's over-simulating rainfall, even though the rainfall it's showing is generally just thunderstorms anyway, and within these there's only 5 to 20 mils. Obviously you'll get higher falls closer to the coast where there's more moisture, but through the interior, if we go back to the start of the week today, so this will be 10 p.m. tonight, 24-hour rainfall. A lot of this cloud through the interior that we saw on the satellite before, this is this high base cloud, and it's predominantly heat, and you can see where this red line, where this thickness line is. This is the extent of this heat coming in from the north. So it extends from the Pilbara, from right up to the top end and right up through far north Queensland. So we have this extensive area of heat coming in from the tropics through the arid interior right down into the southeast. So there's next to no chance of rainfall within this area, and this is what's leading this frontal system. So you can see as the front crosses the coast, any rain's highly coastal. And those scattered storms that we've been seeing over the last 24 hours or so across South Australia have remained along the entire coastal fringe, pushing into Victoria. We've only seen, again, 1 to 10 mils, and they're highly, highly patchy falls. So if we go into tomorrow, so Tuesday 10 p.m, there's a bit of a low pressure system. It's more of just a front. Enhances, that's the one that comes from Western Australia, pushes in towards southeast and South Australia. It's showing, 5 to 30 mils in storms, but if we just go to a different model, this is the GFS, and then you can see compared to the ECMWF, there's a lot less rainfall pushing into southeast and South Australia. So pushing across the Adelaide Hills and so on will be quite a barrier in terms of moisture. So all the moisture here is essentially coming in from the Southern Ocean. It's not coming in from the northwest. You can see that cloud band through the interior is coming right through the desert. There's no moisture attached to that. So just be wary that while this looks okay, it's not okay. And then moving into Wednesday, that storm band moves across into southern Victoria. Again, these storms, they're showing up to 30 mils or so, but you can see they're quite patchy, and pushing into southern New South Wales, there's next to no rain again at all. So every areas right up into the northwest of New South Wales, the central, the slopes and plains of New South Wales into the Riverina, you'll mostly just see the same sort of storms that we've seen in the last couple of months, where they're very patchy, where you get 5 to 10 mils. There might be some isolated pockets that see something a little bit more significant, but they'll be highly, highly isolated. So don't be banking anything on these to break a drought. We're going to be moving into drier times overall ahead of this system. So the focus of any rain over the next few days should be mostly through southern Victoria, and these again will be thunderstorms and across Tasmania. And we can compare that with the GFS. So we can move through to Wednesday 10 p.m. So the GFS has got even less rain. I'd be siding more with the GFS here than the EC. purely because this has been the trend over the last 2 months, where as soon as the rainfall gets into South Australia, it just completely dissipates. And there'll just be patchy high base storms through New South Wales interior. So into Thursday, the 23rd, we move back into this settled pattern. So we're still expecting dry conditions overall into the 23rd, and then into the 24th by Friday. There's another front coming through. This one might be a little bit more interesting due to we're moving close to this next weather period from the 29th. So if this next system shows a little bit more potential, this will be a good sign moving into November, to those 2 November windows. But if this next system moving in through the interior late week 4 of October shows a similar pattern where it breaks down quite quickly, it shows that this trend of dry weather that we've been watching from September and October will likely progress into November as well. So just take that on board. Again, while I was hoping November would be the more favourable month, the current trends are supporting that it'll be on the lower deciles again as well. So it's disappointing, but there's not much we can really do about that in terms of what comes out of the sky. So this is the ECMWF for the same period. So moving into Friday, this next frontal system that moves in through the central interior again, the storms seem to filter back up to the northwest with a deeper cloud band than the previous system, so that's a good sign. But otherwise, I wouldn't be holding my breath for anything of value out of this system either. Most of the rain will just be highly patchy, high-based thunderstorms with limited moisture potential, and this continues into into the weekend. So it's a very similar pattern. 5 to 10 mils through Victoria, southern New South Wales, and through parts of South Australia. We might see patchy 5 to 20 mils at best, but that's about it. And that's about all she wrote for the week ahead. Then we move back to that dry pattern towards the end of the month. And we're going to really be relying on this next frontal system from the 29th, this one here, to see how it develops. So we've got this next big trough moving in through the Western Australian interior, so we'll see heat rebuilding. And this will pre-energise the ground again prior to this next front. So the concern we have already is the storms up across the northwest. I know it's a long way out. They're not really showing much potential, and seeing limited storm potential up in the northwest shows that there'll be limited moisture pulling down into the interior. So we just need to take that on board as well. So if we go to the GFS, we can extend that one out a bit further as well. You can see that most of this cloud through the interior is just high based. There's just some pockets of 5+ mils falling on the ground, which is a very, very telling signal moving into the end of the year. And then again, moving into that 29th period, we want this next frontal system. They're showing no moisture being captured into the northwest again, which is a very telling signal. So it's not looking very good. So people who are looking for this end of season rain, I don't think it's going to be as abundant as it could have been, and we just need to plan for that moving forward. So it's going to be a very disappointing end to the year, with all the talk of the wettest spring coming up in a long time. It's definitely failed. So we'll just have to monitor how this northwest builds moving into the first week of November.